Hey, comic book community, Long Box Love Affair here with a comic book haul strictly from one comic book shop that is about 40 or so minutes away from me up in Maryland, To Be Continued Comics. So these guys, I discovered them during the pandemic, and I don't know how long they were open before that, but they are sort of a hidden gem that is now starting to get more and more popular. They have a huge back issue selection. They really go above and beyond with the comics that they have on the wall and in the bins. It is probably the best back issue selection in my local community. Anyone who knows me knows that I am looking for back issues primarily. I do have an LCS that I get my current comics on a weekly basis, but they don't have back issues. They have very few, I should say. So whenever I find someone that has plentiful back issues that is somewhat near me, I'm definitely going to hit them up often. And so this LCS, this To Be Continued Comics, has had various sales, and I've profiled some of them on my channel before. Particularly, they had their warehouse sale where all these unsorted books were put up in their loft space, and everyone just went in bargain basement style. Everything was $1 to $3, and they had keys sprinkled throughout. So this Labor Day weekend, they had on Saturday night, they posted on Instagram saying they were having a sale, and everything upstairs in their loft was $1, and then everything downstairs in the LCS, any modern back issue was 50% off. Any older back issue, silver, bronze, or such, was going to be 20% off. So I said, let's try to get there. Let's figure this out. So I went, I did some hunting, and found some great books. Before I get into those books, and I dropped some money right before Baltimore Comic-Con, which I shouldn't be doing. I should be saving that money for Baltimore. But I found some books I really was going to look for in Baltimore, so it's a win-win in my case. And some of the deals were just too good to be passed up on. They had slabs, and all the slabs he brought out when I was there were $25. Every slab. Let me show you the slabs I got for $25 each. First one, Far Sector number 1. It's a 9.4. It is the second printing. Hard to find second printing for 9.4. Well, it's not the 9.8 that everybody wants. For $25, would you pass this up? I saw this book, and it has been on my hunt list. It's on my eBay every day. Every time someone posts this book on eBay, I get a notice. It is Amazing Spider-Man 654, the second print. It's an 8.0. That is okay. It is a beautiful black cover. It is a second printing of when Agent Venom starts to come on the scene. It might be, is it his first printing, or is his first appearance? It's the death of Marla Madsen Jameson, and Flash Thompson becomes Venom. So yes, great cover. It's got a Venom label, which I actually don't love the Venom labels, I'll be completely honest. But I don't buy things for the label, I buy it for the book. And this book has been on the list. I think it presents better than an 8.0. So this could have legs if I ever was motivated to get it pressed and resubmitted. Is that in the cards for my future? Not right now, but in the future maybe. This is a book I've been looking for forever. So I was happy to find this for $25. Another book that was just crazy for $25 is Solar, Man of the Atom 10. This is the second print. You know this by the embossed Roman numeral 2. It is a pure black cover. This was one of the early gimmicks of Valiant Comics and of the 90s. Highly coveted book. The first print fetches amazing money. This book was had a list price of $250. So I picked it up for $25. In fact, the owner looked at it and he's like, that's a good deal. I was like, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the offer for the slabs. But second print, less money than the first print, but still super hard to get in a 9.8. And I'm a big Valiant comic book collector. Speaking of Valiant, Unity number 098. Just a book that I love. This is a nostalgia buy for me. I love this run. I love Barry Windsor Smith artwork. And this was the free book that they passed out to everybody who was signing up to get the whole Unity storyline for Valiant Comics in around 1992. Yep. So I remember this is when I started collecting Valiant. So definitely love this book, love this run. Everything up to Unity is a sweet spot for me. Everything after Unity I did read and collect, and that's when I loved Valiant. but it's all the pre-Unity stuff that is super hard to find. The pre-crossover that is the early days of Valiant Comics, and a 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man 37, 9.8, Kara Andrews cover. Pretty cool. Bought it because it was a 9.8 for 25 bucks. And boy, has this book dropped in price. Amazing Spider-Man 33, the 9.4, does not fetch a lot of money, so $25 is about on par for what it is worth. But I was happy to pick it up. Really kind of cool book there. So before I get into the dollar finds that I bought at this comic book store in the annex above, I did buy 2 big dollar X-Men books. Now, these are books I have already, but I'll have to be honest, I get joy out of collecting the early Bronze Age X-Men run. The John Byrne, David Cockrum, Chris Claremont run, the Dark Phoenix saga, the M'Kraan Crystal, all of that stuff I love so much. And so I am looking for good copies that are somewhat affordable and just to build up that side of my collection. It is not really speculation, it's joy. It's pure joy that I love having these comic books. So when I find a copy that I think is on par or better than mine that I currently have, I'm gonna try to pick it up. And so they had these for 20% off. And the deal was pretty good. So they were pricing these X-Men books as he went, and then someone else looked at the box before I did, and I snagged 2. I snagged Uncanny X-Men 136. I love this cover. This is Dark Phoenix Saga at its best. This homage, or often homaged cover of Jean Grey and Cyclops there. Just sweet spot for me. Love this book. And the book I have been looking for a second copy of is X-Men 94. In fact, Cool Stuff Collectibles, Rob was there too hunting, and I had to get some validation from him. I had to be like, am I crazy, or is this a good deal? So I'm not going to talk prices on these because I spent more than I anticipated, but X-Men 94 for under $400. That was a really great deal in my case, and it's solid copy. This is probably better condition than the copy I currently own. So these were not dollar books. I didn't anticipate finding these, but I was excited to get this rather than pay con prices at Baltimore Comic Con next weekend, and hopefully I save some money here. But 20% off. They also had Fantastic Four 4 Against the Wall, which is another book I'm looking for. They had it for $1,000, so it was going to be 20% off that, which would have been a great deal. It's a little tan, the cover, so it wasn't one that was right for me, but it is a really nice copy. I'm just looking for a little bit whiter of a copy. So I passed on that, but it's going to go to a good home at some point. So let's get into the dollar books I picked up, and some of these dollar books are crazy. So as I said, they would sprinkle keys around the whole shop, which had the whole circumference of the shop had long boxes, as well as the center. So there's a lot of hunting to do. I didn't take a picture this time, and I'm not sure if I can find the old picture to post, but it's really difficult to go through everything in that room unless you spend all day, and I did not have all day. I had 2 hours max, and I was there just slightly less. So these are the books I picked up. Mockingbird #1, X-Force #2, and again, these were all $1, no matter what book they had in there. Ruins #1, this book has been hot for a little bit due to TikTok. Avengers No Surrender, 684. This is the variant cover. I think this is like a second print. It is a second print of the first Immortal Hulk. Grimjack 26, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle appearance. They had a couple copies, I just picked one. X-Men 188, the first appearance of the Children of the Vault. Cool Chris Bachalo cover. All-Star Squadron #1 for $1. Really nice condition, solid book. The owner of the shop would go around and to his regulars throw some key books that he was gonna place in the bins and just would give the keys. And so that's pretty cool. And so maybe I've become a regular, which is awesome. I do appreciate all that they do, and I love shopping there when I can get up there. It's a little bit of a drive for me, as I said, but he threw this one to me. Earth 219, really cool key book in this run. I have been looking for this for a second, so I never find it. It's always pulled out of the bins, so cool to grab that. And also was kind of fun to find this hidden gem variant, Sinister War #1. It says it's a 1 in 100. I'm not sure if it's a 1 in 100. It might be a 1 in 50 or 1 in 25. Steve Ditko variant cover. So as a Spidey collector, I was really happy to find this. I don't own that. Also found this Magnus Robot Fighter. This is from the Whitman run, or maybe not. It's not Gold Key, but it was originally in Gold Key. Magnus Robot Fighter. A late Ren and Stimpy, #31. Doesn't really fetch much money, but kind of cool to have some of the later issues. Amazing Spider-Man #1. Dreadstar #1, Jim Starlin. This could be a good one to get signed if someone was interested in Jim Starlin's signature. I have some stuff signed by Jim. I don't like his signature. I don't think it's fun looking. It's a blob. FF #1. This is the different series. The, gosh, what's his name? Mike Allred? Mike Allred. Matt Faction. Superpowers #1. New X-Men 43. Scotty Young covers do sometimes fetch a premium. This one doesn't seem to, but it's a really cool faded, kind of painted over cover. I'm not sure what technique that is, but it's not his baby style, which I appreciate. I've never knew this series existed. X-Men, Pixie Strikes Back. That was a cool cover. Found this like probably one of the first things I found. I was like, I'll pick it up. Why not? For $1. Magic #1. I picked up issue #3 as well, and didn't realize that it was all kind of destroyed in there. So I'll eat that. It's $1, you know, whatever. I didn't examine it close enough. Cable Deadpool #2. And #3, Rob Liefeld covers. Really cool Adam Kubert cover to Wolverine 82. CGC has a signing they're going on right now. His signature price, or his remark price, is a little pricey. I was hoping to get one. This would be a good one to get it on because of the open space. I don't think I'm gonna do it because it is a little expensive. X-Men 1, the deluxe version, for $1. This book goes, a lot of people try to sell this for $10. It's usually like a $5 to $7 book. Wolverine 90, cool Adam Kubert cover with the Hildebrandt card superimposed on the back. Wolverine 166, Sean Chen. Wolverine 156. This one fetches a little bit of money. I love this cover. I love this issue. It's actually plotted by Rob Liefeld. I didn't realize that until yesterday when I was looking through it, but it's artwork by Ian Churchill, who is a favorite of mine. I don't see him do too many books these days, but I am a fan of Ian Churchill artwork, and he's got Spider-Man and Wolverine, two of my favorites. Wolverine #1. Infinity War #1. That was pretty cool to find. Star-Lord 2, and there's some Annihilation Conquest Star-Lords and others in this run. Ares #1. Guardians 23. Annihilation #1. Oh, I gotta bag this. Annihilation #2. Annihilation Nova #4. I've been trying to pick up the series again. I used to have them, so this is a fun find. Super Skrull #3 and 4. The Del Auto covers on these are smoking. Quasar 1. They had a bunch of these different Quasars. 2 and 3. Another Star-Lord. This is #1. They had a bunch of Preacher books, and I was tempted just to pick them all up. Preacher has kind of come and gone in terms of popularity, and I've read them all. It's a great read if you haven't read it. It's crazy. Let's just put it out there. It's violent. It's crazy. But I picked some of the keys that are out there. So Preacher #9. I mean, look at that cover. The Glenn Fabry cover, I think. Yeah. Preacher #2. They didn't have #1. Understandably so. but that's the first Saint of Killers. Preacher 16, most people like this cover. Preacher 13, some first appearances in there as well. And then I got 2 copies of this Absolute Vertigo 95. And this is the first preview of Preacher. So there was 2 copies of that. So I was like, oh, I'll pick that up. The 6th and final printing of Sex Criminals, #1. I think this used to fetch some money. Probably not so much anymore, but it's a good one to have. They had a full run of Kill or Be Killed, and I just don't have the storage space for the whole run. It is a great story, but issue #1 is one that I will always pick up on the cheap. It is, I think, a really good spec buy. This could be really an awesome thing to be optioned. I think at one point there was talk about it. It's Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. Read it. It's interesting. East of West #1, but this is the 2nd print. I have the 1st print. I really enjoyed most of this series until I gave it up, but it got a little too out there. And but the first several, 10, 20, 30 issues were great. Uncanny X-Men 260. Did I tell you I got $79 books? So that's what we're going through. Awesome Jim Lee cover. It's Silvestri inside. Silvestri's artwork before he rotated off. But Uncanny X-Men 260, the Dazzler issue. Uncanny X-Men 224. Very high grade copy. Picked up some older Iron Man 170 and 169. This might be part of the Demon in the Bottle storyline. I could be wrong. Marvel Team Up Annual #4. I think this is the first appearance of the Purple Man. And so got some really old books now, for the most part. Amazing Spider-Man 143. Anything in the 100s I'll pick up for super cheap if I find them. Same thing with Avengers. Avengers 107. Grim Reaper cover. 114. I think this is the 2nd Mantis. Maybe first cover of Mantis. Again, these are low grade, but fun to find for $1. You don't find these for $1. Thor 193. There are a bunch of Thors. I picked this up because Silver Surfer. I'm a collector of him. Amazing Spider-Man 147. We got Tarantula on the cover. Has to be early Tarantula. Defenders 18. This might be the 2nd Wrecking Crew or the 1st full. I have to double check. Marvel double feature #1. Cool cover. Very Kirby-esque. Is that Kirby? It might be. Again, medium to low grade. It has some wear in the corner. Avengers 146. Avengers 150, a landmark issue. Fantastic Four Annual 16. I've never seen this cover, so why not? Last batch I'll show you is a bunch of Fantastic Fours. So Fantastic Four 152. Giant size #2. 310. 148. 168. Love this Galactus book. 212 versus the Sphinx. 106. Pretty cool cover as well. Right after the Kirby run. 133. 189. 115 for $1. I mean, awesome. 139, 164, and 179. So that is my massive haul, essentially a 2-trip haul from To Be Continued Comics. Guys, thank you for watching this video. To the guys at To Be Continued, keep the sales up. It is awesome. It's a great thing for the comic book community in the DC, Maryland area. If you are ever traveling to Washington, DC, you definitely need to get a car and you definitely need to make the trip up to Maryland to see To Be Continued Comics because they have a great selection. They have constant inventory rotating. So that's my unsolicited plug for them. They didn't ask me to do that, but I wanted to do that, especially because they've been good to me. So check them out. But hey, thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you saw. Comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think about this haul. Hey, I am gearing up for Whatnot. I need to just focus and do Whatnot auctions. I do eBay on some things, but I need to really try to build up my Whatnot presence. So check me out on Whatnot. I'm gonna probably be doing a couple shows in September and feeling my way around there again. It's been fits and starts. So yeah, hope to see you there. Hope to see you at the next video, and see you next time.